Hello, my name is Doug Brown, and I'm here today at the Union Public Utility District in Murphys, California. I'm sitting with two of the board members. On my left is Larry Thompson, and on my right is Dwayne Oneto. We're here to talk about the power and water usage in the Highway 4 corridor, more specifically the City of Angels Camp and the City of Murphys. And so, Larry, why don't you give us a little background of how the water gets here? It comes from the Stanislaus River, but it actually gets here through a distribution system.
That's correct, Doug. We get our water from the canal that was just burned up this last year, that flume that we've had so much difficulty with in getting back in service. That water comes from the Hunter's Reservoir into the flume system. The flume comes down by Union Public Utility District, the little community of Murphys. We take it out at Catamatri Reservoir for our domestic water system. The flume water continues into a power plant there at Murphys that you can see off the road just above Murphys, and we generate power from that water. The water goes into Murphys Creek, makes its way down, and goes into a diversion below Murphys by the grade road. The bulk of that water then goes up to Ross Reservoir. The minor portion of it continues down below the diversion, down what converts from Murphys Creek to Angels Creek, makes its way down into Angels. The water that goes to Ross Reservoir goes to the Angels Camp treatment plant, but it also goes to the pipes that service the penstock that provides water for power generation, and that generation plant is located right adjacent to Angels Creek, just above the firehouse.
Okay. Now, how old is this system?
Dwayne, what is it, 1800s, I guess they first put that together?
Yeah, I think it originally started bringing water in for the mines. 42 is when they closed the mines and that type of thing, and then PG&E took over the Utica system.
The water that flows down here, how much water actually comes through the system?
Okay, UPA, Utica Power Authority, is allocated between 45 and 50 cubic feet per second, depending on the time of year. We get more in the summer than we do in the winter. So that basically we're talking between 45 and 50 cubic feet per second flowing through the system.
Okay, and that's used for the three different entities that utilize the water. That's Angels Camp, CCWD, and the Union Public Utility District?
That's right, correct.
Okay, and how is it separated? Is it separated with the majority of it being used for drinking water, irrigation water, or what?
I don't know that. As far as UPUD is concerned, it's about 50 for domestic and 50% for irrigation. The City of Angels, I'm sure, is almost all domestic except for the golf course. And CCWD's in the Arnold area is all domestic.
Okay, and so the talk of maybe not running out of water, that's a bad choice of words, but the talk of being able to find more water for more uses comes from the idea that so much of it is being distributed now, there is a need for more. How do you find more water? What do you do to get more water?
Well, I think we need to talk, the question is sort of twofold. One, of the 40 to 50, the 45 to 50 that we've talked about 20 is committed already to various cities and for environmental, and so that there's still half the water is still available that we could tap into. The problem is that the system is set up so that you generate power to pay for the water, so that you don't have to charge the City of Angels, UPUD, and CCWD big bucks for the water. Basically, you use the power. But if you take more water away from power and give it to UPUD, CCWD, or the City of Angels, now you don't make the power, so the cost of the water has to go up. So there's that. We could store more water in the wintertime if we had storage, that would work, or larger distribution systems.
And I understand that the distribution systems for the agricultural water that's being used is somewhat taxed at the present time.
That's UPUD, yes.
UPUD, that system at this time just has no more room without putting in new pipes for more irrigation. Is that?
In some places, yes. Other places we could still push, but we're pushing our allotment too. So it's, I guess, yes, in essence, your statement is correct that we have difficulty getting the water through the system.
We can't bank our water.
Okay.
We have to take it as it goes by. Once it goes by, it's gone. If we could bank it, we could make more use of it. If we could build some other reservoirs or a reservoir to hold us through the summertime when we need the water, then we could make, maybe more use of the water. But right now we can't bank it.
So once the water goes past here, once it goes back into New Maloney's, it's gone. Even though your allocation is there, the time you need water most is in the summertime, and the numbers you've given me says that you get for the Union Public Utility District 6 cubic feet per second, and you're utilizing 5.5, and the other half you probably couldn't distribute it if you were getting it anyway. Okay, so
we could distribute it for domestic purposes, but not for agriculture.
Excuse me, and that's exactly what you said.
We have a waiting list of people right now who would like irrigation water if we could provide it.
Okay, the concept of storage, more storage or banking water, it means that somehow you need to find a place to build a dam to hold the water so that it could be used. Would this, if you're looking for this, could you do it upriver? Would it be, have you looked at any places? Do you have a concept of what you'd like to do?
We've walked the area up here for years trying to find another area to build a reservoir. We're really not talking about building a dam so much as we're talking about building a reservoir. We wouldn't be blocking up an existing water like a stream right now. What we'd be doing is taking the water out of the flume and putting it at some place. So it's not like we would be building a dam. But to find a reservoir, the importance, and one of the reasons that Union Public Utility District can operate as well as it does is because our water is provided all through gravity. We don't have any pumping in this system.
Okay.
And so what you would want to find is a location where you could put a reservoir that you would not have to pump. And so that's, we continue to look up here in the Murphy's area to see if there's some place we can build something. And we've had engineers look at it, and we've got a lot of topographical information, we've got a lot of aerial information, and we still haven't located a site that we think would work. And we do have a couple of other ideas downstream that we might do, but how that might impact UPUD is yet to be determined. But as far as up here, providing it for the entire system, doesn't look to us as though there's a geographic area that we can utilize that can meet our needs.
Okay, let's go over to the map and maybe show the folks exactly where the water comes from and the way it runs. It runs downhill. They've heard that for years. And so we'll go ahead and utilize that and give you an idea of where the water's coming from and where it goes.
All right, what you have here is an overview of the Utica Power Authority's project that they administer. This is the Angels Utica Hydroelectric Project map. You start up here at Hunter's Reservoir. Spicer McKay's is further up the hill here. Start here at Hunter's, and this is where the flume operates. You can see that it goes around lots of interesting countryside. It comes over here, and here's the Murphy's forebay. What is not shown on this map is just prior to the Murphy's forebay in this area here is Catamatri Reservoir. And that's the reservoir that captures from the flume the domestic water source for the treatment plant, water treatment plant for the Union Public Utility District. The water along the flume continues to the Murphy's forebay. It goes down to Penstock, the Murphy's powerhouse, and it generates electricity here. Continues into the into the Murphy's Creek, and it goes through the little community of Murphy's and continues on down to the Angels Diversion. From the Angels Diversion, it takes off and goes over here to Ross Reservoir, and it also continues down the Murphy's Grade Road down towards Angels Creek. The diversion right now is located in such a place that there's lots of opportunity for water to come through here, but we will be putting down through the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's requirements a minimum of 5 cubic feet a second from the Angels Diversion through what's called the Angels Reach down towards Angels Camp. The bulk of the water, though, goes up through the Ross Reservoir, down through the Angels Canal to the Angels Forebay. Now, what also isn't shown on this map is the Angels Treatment Plant, which is also located at the same area that the Angels Forebay is in. The Angels Treatment Plant gets water from a Y, the bulk of the water going to the Angels Forebay for power generation, some of the water going around to the Angels Treatment Plant for domestic water production. And the water for the Utica Power Authority comes on down the Angels Penstock here to the City of Angels, where the Angels Powerhouse is located. Power again is generated there, and then the water goes out of the tail race into Angels Creek, and then on its way down to Lake Maloney's.
Larry, one of the things that the viewers may be interested in, on the flume system, where did the fire actually burn the flume?
It burned in 2 places. The major problem we had was right here before the Darby Knob. Here's Darby Knob. You can see how, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can just see how steep the elevation is here. It just swept up here and took that portion of the flume out. It also took some out in this area here too.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you. That gives us a good overview of the water distribution system from Hunter's Dam down through Angels Camp. Thank you. Dwayne, summing things up, how do you see the future of the water district here?
Well, I think the key is the Utica Power Authority. I think that they are going to bring water in, and the idea that we have enough water there, what we're going to have to do is get it to our customers. And in the near future, this problem is going to have to be solved because as the area, if we want the area to continue to grow, we're going to not only need the extra water, but we're going to need a distribution system, and all that's going to be a very expensive process.
Okay, and any final thoughts, Larry?
One of the critical parts about our flume, of course, we saw that it was susceptible to fire. It's a wooden flume, and talking to other agencies that have put in metal flumes and fires with this kind of heat, they've had no more success in maintaining the integrity of the flume than we did with the wood. In other words, the metal flumes melted. One of the things down the line that Utica Power Authority will need to consider is how to deal with this exposed system. Are we going to underground it? Are we going to try some other way to protect it? It is the water source for Murphy's, Douglas Flat, Vallecito, Carson Hill, and the City of Angels Camp. It's critical. If this area continues to grow, which it looks as though it will, and if it continues to want to be productive, which obviously it will, it's going to have to protect its water system. It's going to have to assure that the best use can be made of the water. And I think that we have in the Utica Power Authority an opportunity to tackle those problems. And it's one of the reasons that Union Public Utility District and the City of Angels and CCWD came together, was to form an entity that could protect this water and keep the control local so we can tackle these problems locally and deal with them locally. But there are lots of things that we're going to have to consider. How do we divvy up the water when we get close to the end? How do we maximize what water is available? How do we protect what we have? How do we make sure that for those that come behind us, our sons, daughters, granddaughters, grandsons, are going to be able to use the water that we have, and that we make it available to them, and that we don't put any impediments in the way for them to utilize it.
Yeah, that's true. Water is like gold. It's out there. It's very precious and becoming more precious all the time. We don't want to pay for it like it is gold. I think that's one of the things that's very critical for everyone. And we've all seen water rates raise, and that's probably something that's going to happen in the future. But it's certainly a necessity. And it sounds to me like you're looking toward the future, toward storage and different distribution in order to assure that the water is going to be here to serve the people. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you've come down here and there's a weekend, and they've come down and spent their time and volunteered. By the way, they don't get paid for what they do. They are volunteers, and I asked them that question, and they put the effort out here because they're good citizens. And so I'll just thank you for coming down here today, and thank you for your time.